Hey, Janet, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I heard the big news from Dean. Are you really pregnant?
Hello, Lydia. Yes, it really is true. I was wondering when Dean was finally going to tell you. As of now, I'm about 3 months pregnant. I wasn't feeling good at all, so I went to the hospital and, well, I was quite surprised.
You mean you really had no idea at all that you were pregnant? I mean, didn't your period stop? Why didn't you think you might have been pregnant then?
Well, I've actually had a strange period all my life that's come and gone suddenly. So I just thought that it might have been acting up again, but I had no idea it was because I was really pregnant.
Oh, I see. So then you and Dean are going to be having a kid together. But you two weren't actually planning on having children this soon, isn't that right?
Well, yes, but we're just glad that we found out about this before we were knee-deep in wedding plans. So in a way, the timing really couldn't have been better. It was going to happen around this time.
But then that means that you're really going to be having this kid before the two of you are married, right? Are you sure that's a good idea? I mean, aren't you worried about what people might be saying about you two if you go through with this?
Do you really think that people will really care all that much? I mean, I just can't think of anyone I know who would be scandalized by something like this, really.
Well, you're so young now, so maybe that's why you don't really care or understand about this. But back in my day, something like this would cause quite the scandal in town and have all of the neighbors talking. It would really hamper one's reputation, you know?
Oh, I see. Well, I guess it is funny to think about how quickly times can change then, huh?
I just really think that you two should have done a better job of being careful and planning this out better, don't you? I mean, don't you think this is all happening too fast? You won't even have time to enjoy the honeymoon phase of your marriage. You'll be too busy with a baby.
Well, yes, we do realize that this is going to change a lot about what we planned on doing, but we're still very much excited to be parents.
Well, sure, I understand that, but being a parent isn't always an easy, happy thing, you know? I mean, you can pretty much kiss your free time goodbye. And if you two wanted to have any time to spend with just each other as a married couple, do any kind of traveling or anything like that, well, that's just not going to happen now.
Again, we both realize this means there are going to be things that we will have to put off, but we also do want to be parents too. And yes, this is earlier than we were expecting, but it doesn't change how happy we are to know this.
Well, if you two really feel that way about this, then I guess that I'm happy for you both. But I'm also just a bit worried, as you might understand. I mean, you know that being pregnant messes with your hormonal balance, don't you? You start getting hypersensitive and lots of things change in your body. I would just hate for all that to lead to fights when you two aren't even married yet. Are you sure you're going to be okay?
Well, I really do appreciate the concern, Lydia, but the fact of the matter is that we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But I know that Dean is aware of all of that and that we're both prepared to go through whatever it takes to have this baby safely.
I see. So then you're really sure that you're going to keep it? You're really going to go through with this pregnancy?
Well, I've already told you that we want to keep the baby, so I'm really not sure what other choice there would be but to have it.
I'm just saying that if you told me that you wanted to wait just a little bit longer to have a kid and put it off.
I see. Well, again, I do appreciate the concern, but I think that Dean and I are in agreement that we'll be having this one.
You wouldn't hear any complaints from me. I see. Well, that is your choice. I'm sorry if I overstepped my bounds with what I was saying just then. Just, please, make sure to take care of yourself. And if there's anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for checking in on me, Lydia. Anyways, I'm going to go now.
Hey there, Janet. I was just curious. Are you home right now?
Oh, hello, Lydia. No, I'm not at home right now. I'm actually at the hospital getting a checkup.
Oh, shoot. Are you really? And here I was going to pop in for a visit, but I guess my timing was off this time. Do you have any idea around what time you'll be coming home?
Well, I just got there to the hospital, so I still have to check in and all of that. I can't really give you an estimate right now.
Oh, okay. No problem. In that case, I'll just drop off my things in front of your door.
Oh, did you bring something for Dean and I?
I did, yes. I brought some meat that I thought you two could keep in the freezer for when you needed it.
Oh, I see. But if it's meat, it's probably not best to just leave it outside for a long time, don't you think?
Well then, what should I do with this? Do you just want me to take this back with me and go home?
Well, I'm sure that Dean would have no problem stopping by your place later to pick it up. I'm really sorry that you came all this way, but if you wouldn't mind taking the meat with you, I think that would be best.
I see. So you're going to ask Dean to go and pick up this meat from me on his way home from work then? You know, I feel like lately you've basically just been using him like an errand boy and sending him out whenever you need something. I hope you're not just using your pregnancy as an excuse to try and boss my son around.
Oh, I didn't know you felt that way. If that's the case, then I can go and pick up the meat myself when I'm done here.
No, don't bother with that. I'm going to go and do some shopping myself right now anyways. I won't be back home until the evening, so I'd imagine that you'd already be done then.
Oh, okay then. Well, if that's really the case, then why don't you just leave the meat by my door and I'll try and get back home as soon as I can.
So you want me to leave the meat on your doorknob after all? Well, okay, that's no problem. And there really is nothing to worry about. Back in my day, we didn't even have freezers and would just leave meat out like this for hours. It was fine. Besides, the weather's already getting cooler, so I think it'll be just fine.
Right. Well, I certainly hope that you're right about that. But Lydia, I just think that you should know that I don't spend all that much time at home, and Dean does a good job cooking for me. So if it's so much trouble for you to come all the way to our place to drop off food, I just want you to know that you really don't have to.
Oh, come on. Are you really trying to tell me not to worry about you? This is my first grandchild that we're talking about here. I mean, of course I always thought that it would be my eldest child who would be giving me my first grandchild, but life is complicated, as I'm sure you're aware.
Well, I really do appreciate just how much you've been doing for Dean and I, but our freezer is quite full as it is with all of the food that you've brought us so far, so I really don't think we'll need any more for a while.
Really? Well, okay then. If that's the case, I guess I can just stop bringing food around then. Is that okay?
Yes, we really appreciate all the help, but I think that would be best for now.
Well, I certainly hope that I wasn't being bothersome in bringing you both all of that food.
No, of course it wasn't any kind of bother at all. It's just that you've done such a good job that we can hardly keep up with eating it all. And I would just hate for you to keep going out of your way to get us food when we can't even finish it all.
Oh well, I didn't even realize that I was bringing you so much food to begin with.
Well, it's just that I think some of the food you've bought isn't exactly ideal for a pregnant woman.
I guess I just wasn't aware of how careful you were being about what you were eating. But anyway, you just let me know if you need more of anything. I want to do whatever I can to try and support you having a healthy baby.
Thank you so much for being so understanding about this, Lydia. We really do appreciate it.
Of course. By the way, I wanted to ask you how you felt about going hiking with me sometime soon. I was thinking that we can go up into the mountains and hunt for some mushrooms. I think it would be a great way to get out of the house and get some fresh air.
You want to go hiking with me soon? You know that I'm already 9 months pregnant, right? That baby is going to be coming any week now, really.
Oh, don't be silly. Back in my day, all the pregnant women never let that stop them from going out into the mountains. You know, my ancestors used to live at the foot of the mountains, actually. And I remember my mother being pregnant with my siblings and still going out to look for mushrooms and other wild vegetables.
I see. Well, I guess that I'm just a bit worried about going up and doing something like that when I'm already so big.
Oh, but there's nothing for you to worry about at all. You really just have to sit in the car and keep me company, you know? I just get a bit nervous going out to the mountains and doing this kind of picking by myself. It would just be nice to know that I have someone nearby in case anything happens. I mean, you may be pregnant, but us old people have plenty to worry about as well.
Well, okay, if you really mean that, I guess going along for the ride should be okay. But just know that I will have to make a lot of bathroom breaks given my condition. So I guess as long as we're not away for too long, then I suppose I would be okay with this.
Perfect. I'm so happy to hear it. I think the whole thing shouldn't take more than a couple of hours. And in the meantime, we'll go to get out in nature and out of the city.
Yeah, that might actually be nice now that you mention it. Okay then, I'm willing to go with you, but I really don't want to have to get out of the car while we're there. So if you can agree with me on that, then I think we have a deal.
Oh, of course, dear. You won't have to set out foot on the car if you don't want to. You have my word. I'll be in touch soon with more details, okay?
Hey, Lydia, where are you? I don't see the car anywhere. Did something happen? Please get back to me as soon as you can.
Oh dear, I've already gone back down the mountain.
Wait, what? I don't understand. You went down the mountain by yourself? Without me?
That's exactly what I did, dear. I mean, the sun is going to be setting soon. I couldn't spend all day up there. But if I were, I would start heading back down too. After all, you don't want to catch a cold.
You expect me to be able to get down the mountain by myself like this? I don't understand. What is going on here? Don't you know that I am pregnant right now?
Well, that's exactly why I left you up there. Don't you get that?
No, I don't get it. What on earth are you even talking about?
Well, the thing is that I've noticed you really have put on some weight during this pregnancy. And I just thought it might do you some good to get some exercise is all.
Lydia, I really don't know what to say, but you do realize I could be giving birth any day now, right? I thought I already told you that I wasn't feeling great physically and that's why I didn't want to get out of the car. But you were the one who told me to go into the forest. You texted me that you had twisted your ankle, and that's why I got out of the car.
Oh, yes. Well, I suppose the little spill I took wasn't actually as bad as it looked. But anyways, you'll be fine. The mountain isn't that high up, and the nearest town is just a little walk away.
A little walk? Lydia, it's going to take me hours to get back down. Please, why are you doing this to me? You know that Dean is away on a business trip right now.
Well, I think it's perfect, really. Now you have no one willing to spoil you and obey your every command. You're going to have to figure this one out on your own.
I don't believe it. What is the matter with you? I thought that you were finally in support of Dean and I having this child. Although I thought it was strange that so many of the foods that you were bringing over were foods that pregnant women really shouldn't be eating. At first I didn't think anything of it, but now that you've done this, I don't think that you've ever really been in support of this baby at all.
What in the world are you talking about? Don't you realize that I'm doing all of this for you?
Making me walk down a dark mountain while pregnant is all for my sake? Do you really think I'm going to buy that?
Well, you're going to be giving birth soon. I just thought I would help you build up some muscle beforehand. You really are so quick to accuse everyone of being against you. Do you realize that? You should be more grateful to me. But how about you quit wasting daylight and get moving down the mountain instead?
Lydia, you and I need to have a little chat.
Oh my, Janet. Did you finally make it down the mountain?
Yes, I did, no thanks to you.
I see. I didn't actually think you'd be able to personally. And what about your baby? Was it okay? No problems with it on the way down?
As disappointed as you'll be to hear, there was no issue with the baby at all, and everything was safe.
Oh, come now. How can you say that? You can't honestly think I was hoping someone would be hurt by all of this. I'm telling you, I was just trying to give you a chance to get some exercise before you give birth is all.
I have tried being patient with you, but I have reached my limit. I never ever want to see you again.
You never want to see me again? How can you say that to your own mother-in-law? What's the matter with you?
You don't get what the big deal is? Are you really going to pretend like what you did to me yesterday was for my benefit?
Okay, I really am sorry about yesterday, but you have to understand that I was really thinking of you, even if I overdid it.
You abandoned me at the top of that mountain because you hoped that the hike down would cause something to go wrong with my pregnancy, didn't you?
Of course not. How could you even say something like that? You don't really feel that way, do you?
I really didn't understand. I thought that I had done something to upset you or make you hate me. But this was never about me at all, was it? Your target was always my baby. You wanted something bad to happen to it.
Are you even reading what you're sending to me right now? You sound absolutely ridiculous.
But I want to know why you did this. Was it really because we were going to have a child before your eldest daughter? Because I thought that you knew her and her husband were undergoing fertility treatments right now.
Wait, what? How did you know that? Who did you hear that from?
I heard it from your own daughter, Lydia. In fact, she was the one who helped me get down the mountain last night.
I don't understand. Why would she help you get down the mountain? It doesn't make sense.
Are you kidding me? What doesn't make sense is why someone would leave a pregnant woman all alone on top of a dark mountain. But Dean reached out to his sister and asked her to come and help me get down. For some reason, I had enough cell phone service to keep texting you and my husband, and that was it. And when she did get up to get me, I was so grateful to her that I started crying, and she started crying too and apologized to me about what you had done. In fact, she blamed herself and said she was sure it was because she couldn't get pregnant herself.
But that's not true. The two things having nothing to do with each other at all.
Then why did you do this to me? And why are you always messaging Tiffany demanding that she get pregnant? You took out your frustration with your daughter on me, and you couldn't stand the fact that I was pregnant first. Why couldn't you just be happy that you were getting a grandchild and leave it at that?
Now, let's just calm down. It's clear there's been some kind of mistake here. I've always had your best interest at heart.
Oh, please, you really think I believe that? You left me on top of a mountain to fend for myself. Well, now, Dean, Tiffany, and I all want nothing to do with you ever again. We are going to cut you out of our lives.
Now, wait just a second here. Let's not overreact here. I may have overdone it just a bit, but that's a bit drastic, don't you think?
Of course it's not drastic. You've been making all of our lives miserable and literally put mine in danger.
Okay, I screwed up. But you all can't just abandon me like this.
Nothing is ever going to allow me to forgive you for what you've done, Lydia. Your son and I have barely even been married, and you went and did this?
Please, I really am sorry. I didn't realize I was upsetting everyone so badly. I didn't know you all would react this way.
Just save it. Nothing you say is going to make us change our minds, and apologizing is not going to fix this. Now goodbye, and never ever try and interfere in Dean or my own life again, or else there will be consequences, got it? I won't be afraid to press charges for what you did to me. After that, Lydia began blowing up all of our phones, begging us not to leave her. But while we were all ignoring her, apparently even her own husband was considering divorcing her. Instead, he stuck with her in order to keep an eye on her. Ever since then, Lydia has been a homebody, only leaving the house to go out and do the shopping. Dean, Tiffany, and I kept our promise not to interact with her, and she never got to meet her first grandchild. It was sad to have things go the way they did with my mother-in-law, but I knew that my baby would never be safe around her. As you can infer, I had my baby and he was a healthy boy. I even got a letter congratulating me from Tiffany. It's painful when family hurts you, but it made me happy to know that I had other family around me whom I could count on. I only hope that one day, maybe years from now, Lydia will have finally calmed down to the point that I can finally introduce my son to her. Hey there, Chris. It's been a while since you and I last got to speak. I was just wondering if you had a little time to text me right now. I actually have some pretty big news I'd like to share with you. I've decided to move out of our parents' place. It's really happening.
Wait, what? You're going to be moving out? But why? Did something happen?
Well, I bought myself a house and I've decided to go and live there.
You bought a new house? What are you talking about? This is the first I'm hearing about any of this.
Yeah, I bought it about a year ago now, actually, but I was just renting it out.
Oh, really? Wow. I had no idea about any of that.
Yeah, but you know that you never really even ask about me anyways, so it's not that surprising. I mean, you've basically been ignoring me ever since I had to start taking care of Mom, and you've pretty much left me to do all of the work.
You're right about that, and that was wrong with me. How is Mom doing, by the way? Is she going to be moving in with you in your new house?
Well, that's actually another thing we need to talk about. I'm thinking about putting Mom into a retirement home. She said that she's had a lot of good years in her house, but that she doesn't want to become a burden to anyone. Although my husband and I were initially going to let her live with us, of course.
I see, but then what's going to happen to her house? Have you talked about that?
Yes, we've talked about and decided that it's just best to sell it. I mean, we know it's a pretty old house, so it might not actually go for much, but it would help to pay for Mom's place at the retirement home.
I see, so is this what you wanted to talk about? I'm sorry I didn't pick up when you tried to call earlier.
Yeah, this was what I was trying to tell you, but I guess at least you know now.
Hey, you know what? What if I just take your place at Mom's house? I can take care of her instead of you.
Wait, what? Where is this coming from all of a sudden? Mom won't need anyone to take care of her once she's in her home.
I know that, but I felt so bad for the way that I left things with you and Mom, and I want to try and help out now.
What are you talking about? Who are you and what have you done with my older brother?
Please, Tina, I really do want to try and take care of Mom. I mean, I've left you to do it this whole time, and that was wrong of me.
Well, at least on that, you and I can both agree.
I know, and not only that, but I've been avoiding contacting you because I've been afraid that you would ask something of me. I've been a terrible son and haven't done nearly enough to give back to our mom. But I don't want to live like this anymore.
Well, I'm afraid that it's just a bit too late for this sudden change of heart. Besides, what would your wife think of this? I doubt she'll take it well if you just propose moving for the sake of taking care of Mom. Besides, you know that basically all she does these days is just lie in bed. I don't really think that's a roommate you want to have.
I've already talked to my wife about it and told her about how guilty I feel and that I want to give back to the woman that raised me. I told her all of that and she said okay.
Really? You actually said all of that and your wife then agreed to move in with our mom? Because you know it isn't easy taking care of her, right? I mean, I really hope that you're not just making this decision lightly.
Of course not. I've put a lot of thought into this and I know that it's something that I really want to do.
Well, okay. I am still in the middle of looking for a home to put Mom in.
Got it. Well, how about I just talk about this with Mom herself? I know that I can convince her to put some faith into me. I'll come over to her house and talk to her about all of this soon, okay?
Well, okay then. If that's something that you really want to do. I mean, if you've really had a change of heart, then who am I to stand in your way? Besides, what really matters is what Mom thinks about this. Like I said, my husband and I were ready to keep living with her, but she was the one who suggested living in a home.
Well, I think that you two have probably spent more than enough time with her, don't you think? I bet you two must be exhausted after all you've done for a mom.
Well, I certainly won't say that it was easy, but I think my husband is a really kind and patient man, and so it wasn't so difficult for him. Of course, that's the thing about nursing. You have to always be patient with the other person and think of their needs, but I guess he felt that it was part of his duty as Mom's son-in-law. Anyways, I'll tell Mom about all of this and see what she has to say.
Yes, please do that. I think that I should be able to make it over there sometime this week.
Hey there, Chris. I just wanted to check in on how things were going with you and Mom. Are you making sure to take care of her? You know that she likes to get a massage when it's time for her bath. And are you getting the right brand of tea for her? You know that she can taste when it's not the kind she likes.
Tina, how many times are you going to blow up my phone with all of these petty little requests? I mean, I've only been living with Mom for a week. You have to let me get used to this new rhythm, okay?
I guess you're right about that, Chris. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it feel like I was putting so much on you.
Well, it's fine because I'm doing everything all right, so you don't need to worry about us at all. I figure if I just do the things on the list that you left me, that will be okay.
So you really think that things are going okay for you then? I know that it might be kind of tricky at first. But I guess I was just getting worried since it has been a few days since I last heard from you is all.
Well, that's because I'm busy taking care of Mom all the time. I'm glad that her mind seemed to be all there, though. You're right about her just laying in bed all day. I really wonder how she can live like that. Thankfully, it makes it a bit easier for me.
Just make sure that you're moving her in bed, okay? She can't just sit still for hours and hours. You know that, right?
Of course I know that. Don't you worry. I'm making sure she's moving.
Chris, can I ask you something? Are you just leaving all the work for your wife to do? Like, you are actually doing stuff for our mom, right? Because if you're not, then you're in big trouble.
What are you talking about? Of course I'm taking care of my mom. I'm doing all kinds of things for her.
And you're really being honest with me when you say that?
Of course I'm being honest. How can you even ask me something like that? I know that you were working so hard for mom. That's why we moved in with mom, right?
Well, that's certainly what I was hoping you'd say at least. Anyways, I just wanted to let you know that things are going well with the move for us. After we got some more things unpacked, we were going to try and pay you all a visit. I think we should be able to make it over there by next week.
You mean you're going to be coming over to visit again?
Is there a problem with that? I mean, am I not allowed to visit with our mother? I just want to make sure that your wife is okay with us coming over. I'd hate to get in her way.
That's right. You shouldn't get in Laura's way so much. She's really busy taking care of mom and would hate to get scolded by her for screwing up.
I see. But I just really want to see mom and make sure that she's doing okay. Maybe I can come over while Laura is out running errands?
I know that you really want to come over, but I think you need to accept the fact that you were the ones that moved out of here. I know that it might feel like home, but you can't just barge in whenever you want.
I guess you're right about that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound so selfish about this. And I guess we were able to go last week. So, okay, if things are still hectic there, I'll cancel my plans to go over next week. I'll just call Mom on the phone and catch up with her that way.
Great. You do that. Thanks for understanding, sis.
Of course, I get that you have a lot on your plates right now, but I would like to be able to at least see Mom once a month. Is that okay? I mean, maybe if you two ever need a break or want to get out of the house, I can go over and take care of her in your place. I really don't mind going over to help if you ever need it.
Well, thanks. We just might actually take you up on that at some point. But otherwise, we'll reach out to you when we need you, okay? Otherwise, you all should just enjoy living in your new house and settle in over there as well.
Thank you so much, Chris. Tell Mom that I said hi, okay? Chris, are you there? What the heck is going on here? Why is Mom here at my house?
So you finally noticed that she was there?
What are you talking about? What's so funny? Please, I need answers.
I was just saying that it took you way longer to figure out that Mom was there than I would have guessed. Anyway, how is Mom? Still alive?
I just got home now, and Mom was sitting on the steps of our house, but she was absolutely freezing. What happened? Did she just wander over here by herself? Did you bring her here?
That's right, I didn't need her anymore, so I dumped her on your doorstep.
I don't understand. Why would you do that?
You mean you really didn't know about all of Mom's debts?
What do you mean by that? What debts?
I mean that even today we got another letter from a bill collector addressed to Mom.
Wait a second. I don't understand. This is the first that I'm hearing of any debt that Mom is in.
Well, then I guess you can start to imagine just how surprised you were too. Unless, did Mom give you money so that you could buy your new house that you're in right now?
No, she didn't do anything like that at all. We saved up for a long time and bought this with our own money.
I really thought that she might have gone into debt just to buy a house for the two of you.
Of course not. There's no way that I was going to take that kind of money from Mom when I was there to take care of her. Even if she offered it to me, I would still tell her no.
I see. Well, either way, it's still just too much for me. I mean, what am I supposed to be with someone buried in debt who hardly gets up out of bed? I don't see why I should have to take care of her like this. So I'm giving Mom back to you. She's your problem again.
But how can you say that? How could you do something like this to your own mother?
I don't care what you say to me. I've already made up my mind about this.
Fine then, be that way. But just know that no matter what you say, you aren't getting her back.
This is kind of the point. Why on earth would I ever want her back?
Because she's family, and you should always keep your family close in case you need help. But you're clearly only interested in yourself. Here I thought you had really changed your ways, but you just threw Mom away like this? You're not a part of this family anymore. I never want you to get close to Mom or I ever again.
Oh no, I was definitely wanting to go back and hang out with you two again. You go ahead and keep Mom. I think I can live without her.
I still just can't believe that you would do this to her. And to me.
Well, if it's really so hard for you, then why don't you just go and put her in a home? I mean, it makes no difference to me since I won't be checking on her anyway. Anyways, since we're not family, I don't want to see you creeping around our house either. I just wanted to say that I heard something about the house being sold.
That's right. What about it?
What about it? Can't just sell the house where I live with my wife. Cancel the deal.
What are you talking about? That's Mom's house and she can do what she wants with it. Who are you to tell her what she can and can't do?
But that isn't fair. We have the deed of the house here with us. So go call whoever Mom sold it to and tell them the deal is off.
Sorry, but we actually have the deed with us here.
Do you mean that you broke into our house and took it?
Nothing like that. It was actually Mom's idea. She noticed you were acting strange and made sure to pack the deed away without noticing.
What are you talking about? I wasn't doing anything weird at all. Why would Mom think that?
What are you talking about? It's so obvious that you've only been interested in Mom's money this whole time. Not only that, but you also never did anything to help Mom at all. I know about how you just hired a nurse to come over and do all the work. So you were never even taking care of our Mom to begin with.
But, well, who cares who was doing what as long as it was getting done?
I knew that I should never have trusted you.
Please, I really did want to live with Mom. So what if I thought we might be able to get a little money out of her? But when we moved in, we realized all the debts, the bills she was keeping up with, and in the end, it was just a huge waste of time.
Well, here's another thing you might not like to hear. We're moving her retirement payments to another bank account, so now you'll really have nothing.
Wait, what do you mean? Please, that was the only way we were getting money from her.
You really think we're just going to let you keep stealing from our Mom? No, you get nothing.
But what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to live without any money?
That isn't my problem. Maybe you should have tried just not stealing from our Mom in the first place, huh? I mean, what were you thinking?
Well, we also have a bunch of debt and we really needed some extra cash. I didn't think that something like this would happen though, but I was sure that you and Mom wouldn't have helped me out if I had come to you and asked for it, so I had to come up with a plan to get it myself.
I don't even know what to say to you anymore. If you have debt, though, that is entirely your problem.
But what about Mom? Are you just going to pay off her debts by selling this house? Please, Tina, if there's any money left after that, I really need it. I apologize for everything I've done to now, but I just need help.
For the last time, Chris, Mom does not have any debt at all.
Wait, what? But we got the letters from the debt collectors. They're all addressed to Mom, so they must be about her debt, right?
Oh, those? Yeah, those were all just an elaborate ruse to trick you. Mom knew that you were just after her money this whole time, so she asked the nurse you hired to prepare some fake debt letters to mail to the house. I guess from your reaction that it must have really worked. It sounds like you ended up completely fooled.
Wait, what? You're telling me that Mom knew I was after her money and so she set up this whole thing? Does that mean that Mom actually has money?
Of course she has money, Chris. I mean, she worked for decades. Do you really not think she saved up anything? Unlike you, she was smart enough not to fall into massive debt.
But this is perfect. That means that when you sell the house that I can get all the money to pay off my debt. Isn't that right? Please tell Mom to give us the money once it comes through. Consider it an early cash again of my inheritance.
Inheritance? What are you talking about? You're not getting anything.
Wait, what? What do you mean? I'm her son. Of course I'm getting something. Just who are you to tell me that I won't be getting anything?
I'm just afraid that there's nothing to be given to you.
You really have no idea what you're talking about. You can try and cheat me out of this now, but when Mom dies, I am entitled to whatever she left me in her will. If you stole it, it just means that you have to pay it all to me down the line.
Well, that would make sense if Mom wasn't going through the process of having you removed from her will.
Hold on. Mom is trying to remove me from her will?
That's right. She was so upset by the way that you tried to take advantage of her that she decided she had no other choice. And frankly, I think that she is making the right one.
No, this can't be right. You're doing this, aren't you? You're manipulating Mom. I'll call the helper we hired and tell him to stop you.
You didn't hire him. He was already coming over to help take care of Mom. You know that. Besides, you realize he wasn't there the whole time. I had to do plenty to take care of Mom. Do you think that was all just for her money?
But So, I really won't be getting anything at all from her will then?
That's what I'm telling you. You are more than welcome to try and take this matter to court, but at the end of the day, it's Mom's will and her choice. I really don't know a single judge that would ever take your side in this.
Tina, I'm so sorry for everything.
Yeah, I'm really sure you are, actually.
I felt so trapped and boxed and I didn't know what to do. I'll go over and apologize to Mom for everything.
Yeah, you really don't need to be doing that. I thought we agreed never to see each other again.
But please, I'm sorry. You have to let me do this. I have to apologize to Mom.
I have already told you that we don't want you coming around here anymore. The next you hear from us, it's going to be from Mom's lawyer. Make sure you're out of the house by the end of the month.
But you don't understand. We really don't have any money. We have nowhere to go. You'll be kicking us to the streets if you do this.
And do you think that that's my problem because? You should have thought of that before you kicked your own mother out of her house.
Please, Tina, can I just have a little bit of money?
Of course you can't. Haven't you been reading a single message that I've been sending you?
But I don't have anyone else I can go to. Please, we're all that we have of our family after Mom is gone. You have to help me.
I have been taking care of Mom ever since you left home. You have never even showed any interest in helping or even communicating with me. Now you really think that I'm just going to forgive all you've done in the past? I am done with this conversation and I never, ever want to hear from you again. Do you understand me? It wasn't long afterwards that Mom was able to successfully remove any mention of Chris from her will. Then he and his wife had to move out of Mom's house. They didn't move out because their time to stay there was almost up, however. They moved out because apparently they had borrowed money from some shady people and were taken away in the night. After hearing that news, I tried reaching out to Chris to see what had happened, but I never ever heard from him again. Oh well. Anyways, things are going fine with Mom and I. Of course, we're sad about how things ended up with Chris, but we both agree he got himself into whatever mess he was wrapped up in.